Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show tonight. Tonight's guest, we have a brother that's been in the system. He came out of the system with a goal. So far, he's making every goal that he's attempted. So we're going to bring on Gregory Jones and allow him to come on the show and tell the people in the audience what he's doing, what he did, and how he did what he did to get here. So Gregory Jones, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you, welcome home. Right. So this show is geared to bring on returned citizens coming back from incarceration, and to show people that going into the system, you go in one way, you come out another. Either you come out better or you come out worse. Okay, you come out better. So we want to tell society what you did to go into the system. What crime did you go into the system for?
At the age of 18, I committed a first-degree murder,
Okay.
which happened to be a murder robbery. Me and my two uncles
Okay.
were my co-defendants.
Okay. Okay. And how much time did you do?
23 years.
And you were sentenced to how much time?
I was sentenced to 28 to life, 25 to life plus 3 for the guns enhancement.
Okay. Okay. And you did 23 years in the system. And you started where? Where did you start your time?
Well, I'm from Alameda County. I'm from Oakland. So I originally started North County, Santa Rita. Then after being convicted and sentenced, I started a reception center, San Quentin.
Okay. Okay.
Then I went to Old Folsom.
Okay. Okay. Now you said how old were you when you started your time?
I was 18. I was maybe like 60 days before my 19th birthday.
Okay. Okay.
It was April 27th, 1991.
Okay. So going into the system, you was a young man, and you was kind of like had a little spunk in you, so to speak. Going to the system, a young man, you young man, you going into an environment where a lot of stuff going on, and you kind of like want to fit in because you don't want to get caught up in madness. So, yeah, you got a little spunk in you going into the system.
But definitely, I went into the system, like I said, growing up in Oakland, I went into the system, as we would say, representing town business.
Exactly.
So,
That spunk was there.
yeah, getting arrested, nothing changed from me getting arrested. It's just I took my juvenile delinquent behavior from the streets of Oakland and took it to whatever prison they had sent me to until I eventually made a change.
Right. You went from a big yard to a small yard.
Basically, I went from
and it continued.
a bigger prison to a smaller one.
Right. It continued for a while until you, at some time in your early age in prison, a light came on and it woke up. That like, I don't want none of this. I got to get out of this.
Well, I was blessed throughout my journey in prison because being a young person, 18 years old. Well, by the time I got to prison, I was 19, turning 20. I was blessed to meet older people, we called OGs at the time, such as yourself, who saw that, basically I was like a good kid gone bad, and saw the good in me and always had, encouraged the good behavior.
Right.
Even though at the time you guys said I was off the hook, but you guys always encouraged the good behavior.
Sure.
And it was things like that that had a long impression over the period of time.
Yeah, you was a good kid, actually, good young man. I saw that when you came into the system, you just got caught up.
Right.
You just get caught up, and that's what happened to a lot of youngsters going into the system. They just get caught up.
Well, I would say, I was raised in a good home. My mother, raised me to the best of her abilities. But one thing a woman can't do is raise a man.
Right.
And so by me being having a misperception of what a man was, misguided, I was easily influenced. And so a lot of times that good was, I would say I had a need to fit in to impress people. And sometimes people took advantage of that. But unfortunately, I ran into men who saw the good in me and highlighted that and encouraged that versus the bad. And it actually felt good, and I took a grasp of that, and then the change started to feel good. I had the personal victories of starting to change, not being the individual that I once was.
Right. Now you started in Old Folsom, the time in Old Folsom?
I started in Old Folsom,
Okay.
1992.
Okay.
I started in Old Folsom.
And you went from Old Folsom to where?
I went from Old Folsom to Pelican Bay.
Okay, so you got a shoe turn.
No, actually, at the time they was in the process of turning Old Folsom from a level 4 to a level 2, and being fresh in at 19, I had, I believe, like 69 points, so I was considered a hard level,
Right.
level 4.
Right.
So they sent me to Pelican Bay.
Right. So at that time, the only environment that you fitted was a level 4 environment. Either New Folsom or Pelican Bay or
Okay, sir.
one of the level 4 prisons.
Yeah, at that time, due to my crime, my age, my behavior, the institution felt the only environment that was fit for me was a level 4 environment,
Right.
which actually it turned out to be a good thing because it was more of a controlled environment, and the spontaneous foolishness that youngsters normally tend to get into, that wasn't allowed there.
Right.
And so I was able to find myself. Eventually, I accepted al-Islam as my way of life, and that's where the change ultimately began, because I was surrounded around positiveness. I met brothers such as yourself, Jamal El-Karaki was instrumental in my change and learning, you know what I mean, a new way of life. So that's what it was. I found myself in Islam, and that's where the change began. And that's when I came up with the ideal that, you know, I wasn't a bad kid. I just had, I was just misguided with a misperception a little bit along the way, that like most youngsters today believe that doing dumb stuff is cool. And actually it's not. That's, people think it's
They
you know,
really think that.
yeah, to walk by and just kick your car
Right.
for no apparent reason. They think that's cool and funny.
They do. They really do.
And actually, you know what I mean, it's a very dangerous decision.
Very
because
very
people
dangerous.
feel certain kind of ways about their car, and
About
you
their
kick
car.
that car, somebody come out and don't care you a kid or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they think that that's fun.
They think it's fun. They think it's just this way you do things, but it's not. You know. But like you said, you was led the wrong way. You know, you saw certain things coming up as a youngster, and you kind of gravitated to that, and later on in your life you saw that's not the way.
I won't say I was led the wrong way, because I like to take responsibility for my actions.
Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. You saw things coming up as a youngster that you kind of like admired.
Right.
That you kind of like said, okay, they have money. Okay, you know, try a little bit of that. And that was a lead away from what you would normally do. So you saw things that you liked and you gravitated to that.
Right. Well, what's funny is that my mother was a pretty successful person. She had me at a young age, but she later went on and became the chief deputy labor commissioner. So it was like I had my mom in one ear preaching the good stuff, son, go to school, get a good education, and get a good job, because you like nice things. So you need to do that. And then on the other hand, I had my grandmother, who was a excellent woman, but coming from the South and with, you know, limited education, she lived in the lower developed housing in West Oakland. And so my uncles and them, they came up in that environment. So I'm seeing, and they in this ear, you know what I mean, telling me, you know, be tough, and this is how you do this. And I'm seeing them have money. So it's like, man, moms are saying this, they saying this. Is like, you know, now I put it together and have the best of both worlds.
Right.
But I gravitated to the fast money because I did like nice things.
Sure.
And I didn't want to put the hard work in that moms was telling me.
Right.
Go to school, get good grades, get a good education, so you can get a good job because you like nice things. And I was pretty good at sports too. But I felt like at the time I didn't have that male figure. Mom's going to work, working 2 jobs, or going to work and going to school at night. And I didn't have that male figure to support me in sports. And so it was easily for me to just, the street life, you know what I mean? I just became,
It was easy.
it was just overwhelming to me.
It was easy. Right. So you went into the system at a young age, and you did what I call the metamorphosis in doing time. You did the complete change.
Right.
You know, you came from the cocoon to the caterpillar, and you made a complete change. And the light came on, and you came to the point to where realize that you got to start doing something different with your time, with your life, and you start making progress to change during your time. And you came to the point to where they found that you were suitable enough with everything that you've done to come back into society and give you another shot.
Well, I would have to say, if I could just go back just briefly,
Sure.
When I first got sentenced to 28 to life, I went.
Come on with it. Come on with it. This is yours.
I went in the bullpen, and it was just me and another older gentleman there. And I was like, man, I'm not a bad dude. That's all I kept saying is, I'm not a bad dude. Why me? And he was like, man, young, so what happened? And I told him how much time that I had just received. And he was kind of lost for words because he was just used to doing what we used to call wino time, in and out. So he couldn't really relate to no time. Thank you, son. He really couldn't relate to that much time, but he was like, man, you would be all right. And I knew early on that I had wanted to change when I was on the street, because I knew I was far from the path in which my mother had laid out for me. I just didn't have the courage. I didn't have the courage to ask for change. I had people I could go to. My mother would give me the world, but I was afraid to go to her and tell her where I had failed at in the areas in which I needed help. So I knew long before I had even got to prison that I had needed to change. And one of my favorite authors, George Jackson, in one of his books, he said, prison is going to do one or two things. It's going to bring out the best in you, or it's going to destroy you completely. And I thought that was a very profound statement. And I saw before my eyes, prison had brought out, I met some really profound men in prison. And prison had brought out the best in them individuals, I mean, such as yourself. I met some pretty profound men in there, and it brought the best out of them. And I saw some other individuals who I had heard about them and knew of them on the street, and saw them in there and was like, I couldn't believe, like, man, this is that individual. I couldn't believe it, so I saw it before my own eyes. And another, my favorite author, mentor, somebody I look up to, Malcolm X, was like about being autodidactic in prison, self-taught. And so I knew that if it was going to be a change, I had to take it upon myself to change. And there was opportunities and outlets in there to change that wasn't as shameful. You know what I mean? Like, everybody in here with the same goal in mind, hopefully. And if not, you know what I mean? I had built enough self-esteem for myself that I'm going to make better decisions for myself. And I took advantage of the programs that they had in prison to change. And the desire was there, and I wasn't really a bad person. I just needed to get a better direction, a sense of direction. Better, really, what I say, life just boiled down to really simple about choices and decisions.
That's what it boils down to.
And I had to make, you know, from day to day, because I was presented with opportunities being at Pelican Bay. And like I said, being there, I'm from Oakland, and I was, at the time, took pride. I'm representing town business, and we not accepting nothing less than what dudes from Oakland represent.
That's right.
And I was presented with an opportunity, like, well, man, you know, you saying you about the movement, and we about to put something down.
But the movement.
Yeah, they were about the movement, and was like, do you want this this piece? And I sat and I thought, in the boy, the insecure, the boy in me, wanted to felt like I was obligated to represent, but I knew that if I did that I would go to the shoe. And my mother, all she know about Pelican Bay from the news is the shoe. She don't know about the main line. All she knows about the shoe, and I just thought about it was already devastating enough.
It's all yours. It's all yours. It's all yours.
It was devastating enough for my
Th-
mother to see me go to prison.
See, this is yours because people gonna see this, and people need to see this because people need to see that the humanity in a person, the realness in a person exists. It exists. Today, 2018, it exists. You did your time. You went to prison as a young man. You came out as a grown man. You did your time, and you did it well, and you're standing up on it. People need to see this. You're going to affect people's lives, whether you know it or not. Right?
Yeah.
So do what you do, man.
It was devastating enough for my mother to see me go to prison. My mother didn't go to work for like a week. One of her coworkers showed her newspaper like, "Is this your son?" And that was embarrassing and devastating.
Sure.
I'm her only child.
Sure.
And so I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. And that was the beginning to my change right there, to make a better decision for my overall, to meet my needs over a long period of time. Because I'm thinking about the parole board. I already got arrested for killing somebody with a shotgun. And then now you're going to stab somebody in prison with a knife. It's like nothing has changed.
It's not going to work.
So I knew that wouldn't be a good decision. Although, I mean, I made other bad decisions along the way.
Sure.
But at that moment, that was a profound moment for me because I had always viewed peer pressure as somebody making you do something. And I was like, man, I ain't no punk. You ain't gonna make me do nothing.
Right.
But I was so foolish
Yeah.
that there's other forms of peer pressure that you didn't have to. I was so foolish, you didn't have to make me. I would volunteer.
Yeah.
It was times where things happen in the prison world. Like I said, being from Oakland, this dude not representing, like, okay, he got to go. He making a bad representation. I do it.
Yeah.
Man, sit down somewhere. Man, we draw straws, but he don't get the pick or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, son. And so, like I said, I made other foolish decisions. You didn't have to force the peer pressure on me. I would volunteer.
Yeah.
And so that was profound for me to be able to say, no, because that was one of my things, one of the causative factors that led me to leading to going to prison.
Well, you okay? Going in. You went in. You got a lesson. You got educated. Along your way, and going in front of that board of prison during it's not an easy thing.
No,
It's one of the hardest things that you can do in your life. Person doing a life sentence, go in front of the board of prison and try to convince them. Then you get to the point to where you convince them that you're suitable.
But you know what the blessing was, though? The preparation, the road to the board of prison terms is what prepared me to be successful today. Knowing that I was going to have to go before these people, and they was going to look at me as one of the worst people in society.
Yes.
They was going to ask me questions that I didn't have the answer to. I knew early on, why did you have a gun? My answer is going to be to protect myself.
Right.
Well, sir, you don't live in the Wild Wild West, and that's what the police is for.
Right.
Well, then my other answer is everybody in Oakland have a gun. Well, that's not true. My mother lived in Oakland, raised in Oakland. My mother ain't never had a gun.
Right.
Well, she might have one now because position but still, she never had a gun.
Right.
So no, everybody don't.
Yeah.
Maybe all the small group of people I associated with had a gun.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, I had a gun because I was gonna kill somebody one day.
Eventually.
If not that day,
Eventually.
someday.
Eventually. Yeah.
So I had to prepare, knowing for them they was gonna ask me these questions if I ever wanted to see the light of day again. And so I had to. One of the programs I took, going in to get out, I had to go inside myself and find that answer.
Yeah.
And why did I have that gun? And because I had prepared to kill somebody, unfortunately, one day, because I had a misperception of what a man was.
Well, you got a lesson well learned, and you got something that you can hold on for life, because what you do today, you got that from where you've been,
Right.
right? I tell people all the time that the lesson that I want to learn is the mistake that you made, not the one that I made.
Right.
Right? I don't want to learn from my mistakes. I don't want to make none. I want to learn from the mistake you made. I won't make that mistake. So I got to look at you, what you do. Right? So what you've done now, you went in to a system of predators, thieves, of murderers, of everything above. You went from the cesspool that you once lived in on the street, because you lived in a cesspool,
Definitely.
and then they send you to hell. You went into the pits of hell. You seen everything unnatural that a person could ever see in prison. Everything. You heard all kind of different stuff.
And
in prison.
participated in some
And
myself.
participated. Right. So you went to hell. And then just like they send you from hell back to society, and they ask you now, what are you gonna do with your life now? So today, what do you do today?
Well, today, when I was incarcerated in '94, when we was in Pelican Bay, we had a lot of cell time because, as they say, it was cracking. There was a lot of things going on, so we had a lot of cell time,
Yes, sir.
and came up with. I felt like I was obligated to help my community because I'm still town business and I'm representing Oakland all day, but I got a different perspective of how I represent Oakland.
Right.
Oakland Pride is not about me doing selling drugs in my community. Okay, 1 second, son. Selling drugs in my community, littering in my community, vandalizing my community. I take Oakland Pride now, and I want to give back to my community. Go back to them same streets that I helped mess up and give back. So I came up with Always Have a Destiny because I felt like when I was in Berkeley, going to Berkeley schools, it was like a set path for boys. Go to school, you're going to get a good education, play sports, go to Berkeley High, go to Cal Berkeley. Education, if you're good enough, you may go on to professional sports.
Right.
If not, you still set to have a good education to
Right.
go on in life.
Right.
And we moved to Richmond, and I lost my focus because that was like a set path. I didn't even have to think about it. It was just automatic. That's just what we do. This is what we do in the B-Town. It's what we do. Go to school, play sports, dress nice, get education.
Yeah.
Mess with the girls, but that's what we did. But when I went to Richmond, it's like I was like a loner because I was the only child, so I didn't have that same group of friends in Berkeley that I had developed. I didn't have the same group of friends in Oakland, and so I was just out there. I was just going to school, play sports, but I really wasn't wholeheartedly into it.
Right.
And so I went back to what I knew, West Oakland, and that's where I got into the activities. But I know now that I have to give back. And I went to my most profound memories as a youngster, where I got off my path, where I lost my destiny. And I went to the YMCA, and I went to places like that. But anybody can behave in somewhere for a couple of hours,
Sure.
because everybody respected Mr. Ed at the YMCA. So we're not gonna do nothing in there, but a little argument. But I'll see you on the way home. We ain't gonna do nothing in here. So anybody can behave themselves for a couple of hours.
Sure.
But none of the people invested into me. My whole asked me like, man, you pretty good in sports. Like, where's your mother and father? To find out, oh man, my father, he's not active in my life. To find out more, they probably could have invested in me
Sure.
and given me a little bit more guidance and information.
Sure.
So I know, look back, that I know it's a lot of other people, such as myself, that come from the community that I come from, and they just need a little bit of information.
That's all they need.
Because I remember we used to laugh at the little commercial, knowledge. Well, it wasn't commercial, but the little skit doing cartoons. Knowledge is power.
That's right. That's right.
That's real. Wasn't nothing funny about that.
Nothing funny about it.
Okay, son. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And so I just want to go back and just give some of the at-risk youth in my community just a little bit of information.
Right.
But I don't want to preach to them,
Right.
because we've all been preached to, and people get preached to every day on Sunday.
Exactly.
And that don't necessarily always work for people.
Yeah.
I want to give them a voice, because I don't know about in other communities. But me growing up as an African-American male, don't know handbook come with raising a kid,
That's right.
especially a boy in Oakland.
That's right.
My mother asked me a question and then turn around and say, shut up. I'm like, I don't know what to say or what to do.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of young other African American males and other people in other communities may as well too have that system at home, and it kind of takes away the youngster voice, and it kind of take away their choices and decisions later in life. So I just want to create a atmosphere where youngsters can process their thoughts and feelings and think about their choices and decisions.
Okay.
I like call it slowing down the matrix because stuff happens so fast, but we have to slow it down because you got thoughts, feelings, urges, actions.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you need to be able to know that there's some things that you feel. You may have an urge and a desire to do something. We will in 1 second, son, but you have to stop and think about, will this meet my needs over a long period of time?
So the program that you are introducing now is a program to help youth in the neighborhood, communities.
Yes.
And the name of it is what?
Always Have a Destiny, also known as the HOB Project.
The HOB Project.
It's coming to neighborhoods near you soon. On the 27th, October 27th, we're going to give a real talk seminar in the Acorns.
Okay.
Because I feel like one of my mission statement is making a difference where it counts.
Okay, on the 27th.
It's on the 27th of October.
October.
Yes.
This will be in the Acorns.
It's going to be in the Acorns.
From what time?
It's going to be from 12 to 3.
12 to 3. And
12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Oakland,
and do you
California.
have a number, or you have a website that you can give these people that they can get a contact, a number or something?
Yes. My phone number is 510-629-0807.
Okay.
And the email address is destinyalways18@gmail.com. You can get in contact with me for further details about it. But that's going to be our first real talk session.
Okay.
And I chose the Acorn because that's one of the places where I did my wrong at. It's one of the places where I sold drugs. It's one of the places where I lied and manipulated and carried guns and probably shot at a couple of people too.
Right.
I don't know. I'm plead the fifth on that. I might have been involved in some of that. But I want to go back, you know what I mean, right there to the heart, to West Oakland, to where a lot of places people won't go.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm going to go back.
Okay, we want to give that address and that website out so people can get in contact with you for that reason to come out and take part in this. Okay,
Yes.
come out and you know, it's the talk. I say talk is cheap. People do a lot of talking. They talk about the neck, all kind of different things, what they're going to do, what they want to do, but they do nothing. Okay, if you silent, stand alone. Right, if you're gonna be about it, come out and be a part of this. Right, so we want you to come out. You know, take the phone number, take the website, and come out and be part of this here. Because if you're gonna be that shadow, stay in the background. We don't need you in the front line.
Well, you remember what the prophet says, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that it's 3 ways to change something.
Right.
You could either change something with your hands, you could change something with your heart, or you could change something with your mouth.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm not going to be silent about what it is, the change that need to be made.
Right.
I'm going to say something, and I'm going to do something with my hands,
you can make the change.
God willing.
You can make the change.
Because it's information. It don't hurt to give somebody some information and take the time to hear what they have to say.
Exactly. Now you home now? How long you been home?
I was paroled April 21st, 2014. So I've been home a little over 4.5 years now.
And you come home, you got a little man with you.
Yeah. I came home to a responsibility, but like I said, I didn't grow up with a father, and so he's teaching me what a father and son relationship is like. And for the life of me, I don't understand why a man wouldn't want to be a father to his kid. It's the greatest. It's better feeling than being paroled.
Sure.
Is to be able to take care of him.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job at it.
Yeah, well, he's a little upset with me right now. He ready to go ride his bike.
He didn't want to be on TV.
But
he don't know he on.
Right.
So
He'll look back on it later and be grateful.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for coming on the show. We're gonna do this again in a few months. Bring you back and see some of the success that you're having, because you're gonna be successful.
No, I want to thank you. I appreciate it. You've always been there for me, no matter what type of situation. You've always been there, inside and now outside.
Always will be.
You know what I mean? And people have a misperception Some of the things they see on TV is true, but they have a true misperception on some of the growth and development that goes on behind the concrete jungle, behind them walls.
Yes, they do.
And
Yes,
you a
they do.
testimony. You was a good person in there, always.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you always been there for me, so I thank
Appreciate
you.
it. I thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So with that, we want to thank the brother for coming on the show, and we're gonna say again, welcome home. Continue the work that you're doing. Raise the child to be a man. Raise the child to be a man.
Well, one of the
You can do
things
it.
that we went by in the SAP program in prison, because I became a certified alcohol and drug counselor there, was Mr. Wright used to say, assume your position.
That's right. So you believe
Assume your position.
right.
And as a man, I got to assume my position as a father to
That's
him.
right, and hold on to it. Don't let
Yes,
go.
sir.
Don't let go. So we want to thank the brother for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate him coming on the show. We appreciate him bringing on the little man, on the show. And what's your name? Amar. Well, welcome to the show, Amar. You gonna come back and see us? Okay. Next time you're gonna do some talking, okay?
You ain't going to be shy next time, son.
So we want to welcome them to the show this evening, and thank you for watching the show. Tune in to the Wendell, Elamine, and James show every Saturday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 29. Right now, we're suspending the live show on Thursday evening from 6:30 to 7 for the next 2 months. I've got something else on my plate that I'm doing right now, so I'm suspending that right now. But we will be back. We will be back to the live show on Thursday night on Channel 76. So thank you for coming on the show. Watch the show. If you have anything that you can tell us that can enhance our show, call in and let me know. You know, I won't constructive criticism. I'll take it. But we want to better our show. And thank you for watching the show. And have a good night.